you're Breon, this is a good comp, right? You have Poppy into Ambessa, into Neferi. I think the top side for DK is, if they hit everything, obviously that top side is kind of disgusting. And then together, of course, if you're wondering, where was Closer in 2021? He was playing for T1.
He was.
Might have forgotten that, but that was a thing that did happen. Was part of the infamous 10-man roster.
And it did have like some decent games there as well. I don't think anyone was saying, oh, he's the second coming of Faker, but...
As we have Showmaker being forced back, Lucid is really just looking for a steal and to get the hell out of there. Yes, he has topside prio, but taking an early skirmish when you don't have prio in mid, and you have that Yone Rumble combination, definitely not something that you actually want to commit to.
Nope. You can see Morgan actually freed from the lane momentarily as well, so it was going to be very dangerous for DK to stick around there. So a heads-up play, not wanting to go for anything, but still, that is going to be 2 objectives over to Bro very early on in this one.
Over.
Let's see what they can get done here as Beryl softening up Polo just a little bit. Does get the wall slam as Lucid looking to come on down. Steadfast presence still there as aiming is going to get the cleanse off, and Lucid does go untargetable, but they're unable to lock down any of the kills, and now Croco is making his way in. The flashes are back off cooldown. The Polo comes over, and he'll grab a buckler and slam it into Lucid as now Closer looks for the ulti. The flash out from Lucid as Beryl just holding on to his, and DK know that they are already out. And the Bros just trying to force and not quite finding it, although there is the Glacial Prison. Lucid had his finger on the button.
He was ready. Knew that was coming. The TP.
Another hook going to come on through here as the teleport is coming down. Hype is sticking around because he didn't really have a good direction to go, as there is the surprise Teemo face, and Polo has nowhere to go. It's a double for DK.
It's worth it.
Well, he doesn't have any stacks just yet.
I know, that's why you gotta get started early. You know, it's compound interest.
Indeed. So, I mean, okay, Beryl is going to face check perhaps. Does land the hook. There's the knock-up onto the Varus as Showmaker's turned up, but the seismic shove goes wide, and now he might be out of position. The ulti comes through, though, as Shiu turns up and says goodbye to Hype. However, the same thing is happening on the other side. It's a great equalizer from Morgan as Shiu looking to try and escape, and Lucid is going to get caught out. He does survive for a little bit longer, but DK cannot stick around, and the Bros win the fight.
A 3-for-2 in favor of the Bros. We'll get them a dragon as well. Second dragon to come through here.
That's a big one.
Showmaker missing on Hype there actually ends up being a really big deal. It means that Lucid needs to invest a lot more.
Probably going to run away from this one, and Shelly is going to lose interest, as we can see there. Closer is teleported in, though, towards that top side, and now Lucid looking for an angle towards Morgan, but Closer gets in there at exactly the right time. Equalizer is down, and the hot dog is cooked. Shiu going to fall as well, and the Bros just had the answer.
And DK trying to get a catch there onto a flashless Morgan. And Bro was ready. As you're saying, they knew what was about to happen. Immediate turn comes through. The barbecue taking down the hot dogs as well as Shiu there.
Concerned. Closer does find a little bit of an angle here towards the doggo as Lucid going to get spotted out, but that should be first star blood, and that should also be feats of strength as Polu comes on over. Chains of Corruption just barely picking the gap in the DK members.
There's a whole lot of 2-0s, and Bro right now are feeling good.
Well, this seismic shove is actually going to connect as the bullet time not thrown out just yet. There is a Glacial Prison, though. Equalizer down as well as Lucid going to leap in. Doesn't manage to stop that, but Closer over the wall finds Shiu and Showmaker as then turns his attention towards Lucid. The bullet time's good as Beryl holding them in place, and Shiu dashing around the back of the fight. The wall is going to block them off, but there is so much money on the Bros right now, and Hype is looking to clean it up. A triple kill for this. Varus puts him right back into the lead.
The fights from DK are just not hitting. Not able to get the dragon. A little careful.
Come in.
Otacon still shreds you, but their zone control is so good, right? Like this Ocean Soul as well. Actually getting access to this pit, I think, might be impossible.
Well, Beryl down to 50% health already.
Lucid doesn't have flash.
He is in position. He's now out of vision as well. He's looking to try and get over. Out goes Beryl, but he hooks himself back in again, doing that real cool Nautilus tech. But there's a steal on the Otacon. The question is, can they keep themselves alive? As knocked off his wall is Showmaker. He's going to get taken down. Lucid, no more untargetability left, and he'll get cut up as well. And yes, the Otacon gets stolen away, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen? And that is 3 members of DK and probably a bunch of their turrets.
They get out, and right there, Showmaker trying to get out again. The Talia, it feels to me like if he does that, make us play a little bit earlier, practice, even if you do get beaten against teams like Hanwha, against teams like Gen.G and T1. So I really want to, again, hammer home the stakes. Even a single game drop here as the Ocean Soul is about to get taken for DK is a big deal. It means that KT's not very far behind them. And imagine if they actually lose this series.
Absolutely
the dream is alive.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Again, we're just talking about game 1. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves.
Well, Beryl is going to have to wander out of Croco here. He does get shoved over the wall, but he's kind of happy about it. Glacial Prison going wide. Beryl still in a whole lot of trouble. Depth Charge going to get a double knock-up. He flashes forward, but rebinding the soul gets him out of the seismic shove, and Beryl able to anchor his way to safety. A few buttons now on cooldown, but it's only really Croco's ultimate that they lose, and Polo, the majority of his health bar.
The re-entry here.
Yeah, actually the King's Verdict now on cooldown. They have to
look
peel.
for the turn.
They definitely do.
They are.
Yeah, Weaver's Wall comes in. That means the Showmaker is nowhere near him. That's just Beryl dead. Aiming is now trying to kite away 2 people as Closer does have to go back. A seismic shove going wide once again, but it buys enough space for the MF to make her way out. So yes, Beryl's dead, down for 20 seconds. Lucid still in the area. Polo still waiting for that ulti to come back up again, but it looks like this Baron is still going to go over to the bros. Unless Lucid finds a nice flip to get himself in.
He does a flash.
Yep, the vision does come over as Lucid. Well, we did not need to see that, did we? That was not exactly what we wanted. As Shiu is going to look to trade, he's going to teleport his way out, picks up a bounty after taking down this turret.
Bounty and then at least maybe contest. But there is a Poppy on top of you, so I think it's understandable. Not the easiest flash, even if you are not being pressured. The bigger issue, obviously, is what has been happening before this. With the Soul now, Brion certainly about to push in here for a game 1 lead.
Yeah, ulti comes through from Closer. It's a little bit forgettable, but still, it's Beryl once again dead. And there is the cleanse out from Aiming already. The flash on top there from Croco and a double kill for Hype to start this one off. There's the ulti to come on down as well as Closer is still just going to turn that into even more. Looking for the knock-up, she is going to flash out of the way, but he is the only one left alive. And the bros, a 10,000 gold lead. Nexus turret number 1 going to go down. The second one to follow, and only 2 more after this. And they will have taken down DK and looked to push themselves ever closer towards the Legend group.
Yeah, we have a blue side comp. You know what I mean? Like I think
I think we have a burden of knowledge. We have a burden of knowledge. What I'm going to need for us to do is to now empty our minds.
Because Hype was already on his way back. Aiming still had to base. Couldn't really forego that. Does mean that the early dragon yet again goes to the bros. Lucid this time at least will get something for his troubles.
Yeah, able to steal this one away, gets control ward down, as of course they are still 3 victories ahead. Even prior to this game, 3 victories ahead of DNF. DNF having not the greatest of seasons thus far. We'll see whether they can turn it around in the Rise group. As Hype, still in the pit, but able to arcane shift his way out. Actually contributed until this final one does go down. But the bros are on 2. Once again, it's a very similar start to game number 1 or to the previous game that happened or maybe didn't happen.
I mean, at least on parity, but ideally ahead. Like he is here, does mean that they are going to be able to get this dragon and end the bro dragon streak.
Oh, man. All right. No one takes 6 dragons away from DK in a row, I guess. In one series. And that is going to be the fact here.
Maybe with some more nudging, but I don't think so.
We just have an existential crisis here while we're brewing, and we're brewing And I think that sounds completely fine. I think that fits with what's going on here.
The lack thereof. Your brain needs some form of stimuli.
That's very true. Well, this Rift Herald's helping. Thank you very much, Shelly. Just going to get poked in the eye momentarily. A teleport is coming in as well as Morgan is going to be unleashed onto the map. As the Bros wanting to get themselves this smite, and they do manage to find it. Crash down onto Lucid as well. Chain CC's fantastic as Showmaker trying to get rid of Closer, but that is the kill onto the Skarner to start this one off. And now it's Shiu trying to stay alive. The Magnus Storm holding him in place as he really wants to kill Closer, but instead he's going to get taken down. It was a decent amount of healing, but it does not quite work out. And once again, DK just fails straight up in the team fight.
They knew!
Yeah!
Bro was very ready to contest, and the complete lack of cohesion continues. 4DK wanted to take that fight.
Oh dear.
Just didn't seem to really hit the mark. I'm not sure what happened to Showmaker's ultimate, but it felt like he didn't really...
It on Closer.
That's Ari. Yeah, that's not good. I know Lucid also kind of threw his ult into...
the fight. They could do nothing. He just charged a Q right in front of Aiming, who was trying to hit someone, and Aiming had to dash out of the way.
This is just a single fight. It's not going to be the end of the game for DK, even though Bro are now even in gold, but it's...
This is looking kind of like, okay, the train comes out of the station, but unfortunately the tracks went straight into the wall for some reason. Charm is going to connect onto Showmaker, but he's in relative safety at the moment. That is going to be the Drake secured by Lucid, as now Polo's in a bit of trouble, and once again, she was trying to do battle right in amongst it. And there goes the Impale, it goes wide. The Magnus Storm is decent, but so is the AoE from DK, and it's a triple for Aiming. Hype is now in the back of this pit. She is surviving for so incredibly long. As the Charm comes out, the Ardent Blaze comes on in, and the Grump is going to kill Aiming. Going to work.
Toughy.
He does hit the W. See if he does Arcane Shift forward. And he does not. Hype going to get crashed into the wall here, as there is the quickness, and Hype is just dead.
That was clean.
Yeah.
Okay. Barrel with the quickness, ensuring that there was not really any opportunity for Hype to get out of that one. That's a big win. Otacon is on the table. TP for Morgan has got to be forced off of this, I do imagine. Showmaker, though, does not have the Leandris yet, isn't even particularly close.
Oh, wow, okay, so Charm not going to connect there.
Oh, it's a bit of a Hail Mary here from DK. Because Crocco's there, he is, his ultimate TP comes in, but look at the flank!
Yeah, this Shiu flank is absolutely ridiculous, but they need to try and keep them in this tri-brush. In he comes, as there's the Magnus Storm once again. Empress Divide hits everyone this time, but down goes the Skarner, and down goes the Azir. DK, I mean, they hit a bunch of buttons, but they didn't really do anything, and that's going to be Otacon going over to the Bros.
And again, they're just abandoning ship. DK just in complete shambles here, as the attempted turn doesn't hit the mark. Bro, just get the Otacon. This was a play that was started by DK as well.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. I feel like DK have had all the information, all of the setup, and when they do, they make all of the wrong choices.
With the team fight, but Hype has been looking amazing on this Ezreal as well. Been basically untouchable for a lot of these fights, which is why so much damage is able to come out from him.
Yep. KT talent, by the way.
Just isn't there, and this goes down again. With an Aatrox and Lucian, I think you do need to play to the death, and you might end up losing the game off of that. But if you just keep half opting into these fights and then dipping as soon as it looks a little rough.
Lucid is just running into this banana brush. That is actually going to work out. He gets the flash. There's the Impale as well. The chain CC, it's okay, but Crocco makes his way out, and there goes Lucid. Beryl just going to get chopped in half by the Lumberjack himself, as Morgan getting amongst it. He finds the knock-up onto Showmaker, who's trying to kite this one out. The Emperor's Divide just to play defense, but the Pros don't care about that. Aiming, trying to just finesse this fight. Hype goes down low, but Closer just stands in his face and says, nah, mate, that's a clean ace for the Bros, and they'll turn it into a Baron.
The 2-0, I think, is about to happen here for Bro.
Only a Scion there.
I don't know. This is, we fought DK after last week, had recuperated from what had been a good amount of really rough fights. I think now it's safe to say That was not the case whatsoever.
Augment that with a little bit of cheeky magic resist. And man, the Bros making this composition work, and it was going to be a comp that could look a little silly later on in the game. Then this is DK basically swapping spots with KT.
Yep. And then, again, Nongshim have a ton of really tough matches ahead of them, right? Because they're facing KT, and they're facing T1, and then DK, which I think might be the final one. Is this the end?
Not quite finding the angle as Xiu down to 50%. It's a decent impale, but there's no follow-up. There's no real option as Croco does go down. It's a trade of junglers for now, but Closer goes in, looks for the point-blank charm on a Showmaker, who hits 3 with the ulti, but then goes down, and Closer is just going ballistic. He's going nuts. They're going to be able to lock down the kill on the Aatrox. It's only the bottom lane left alive as the first inhibitor turret does go down, the inhibitor to follow, and I don't think Aiming and Beryl are going to be able to stop this freight train from just knocking down their Nexus. The knock-up is decent, but Beryl is just going to go down as if he was made of tissue paper. And Aiming, yeah, I think probably just spend some time in the fountain there, buddy. There's not going to be too much of an option here, as these Nexus turrets are looking toast, and the Bros with a 2-0 clean. Absolutely nothing to see here. Another day at the office. And he's just going to be yelling bro. I love this. A champion that yells bro all the time after a bro victory earlier today.
By Sobero?
By a guy literally who played on bro for 2 years.
Makes too much sense.
Oh, it's too clean. As you cannot trap him in a top lane.
Is he just...
He is just he's ghosting. He's ghosting. We're killing him right now as he'll land the undertow and down goes Faker. There is nowhere he can go. He knew he couldn't flash. Vikla almost dies for it and has to sacrifice his flash, but that's first blood over to BNK. Man, this guy's, he's got some vibes. He is helping out as now we've got to dive towards the bottom side of the map. That bailout is not happening as Kellen will go down. It is a 1-for-1 sacrifice. As Ona will come on over and catch this wave, but Gumayusi, he's not going to be getting the experience for that one. As T1 kind of getting ran around in this early game. Okay, he's still having a great time in this lane, as we can see.
Yeah, Olaf's his base stats are...
not bad. Not bad. Does have a decent amount of being able to stay alive as well in the kit, although it's not really working against a bunch of ghouls. The Morning Mist may need to be used here, as, yep, that's just a solo kill for Doran. And so he goes back and he buys himself a Phage, teleports towards that top side of the map. And Faker putting on some pressure here in the mid lane as well, as Vikla may just die as the Arcane Storm comes through. Faker is going to get killed by Tibbers, because Tibbers gets real mad after Annie goes down. So a 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane.
His early game actually looking great, outside of, you know, Sobero getting solo killed.
I mean,
that part was...
When it comes to, like, Olaf play, I think getting solo killed here or there is kind of just how it works, yeah. So that it's a reference to Iron Maiden. I just feel like that'd be metal.
It would be cool.
She's not, though, as we can see here. Doran is now in a little bit of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. The reckless swing, there's the shot. This is exactly how Olaf wants to play the game. And that is killing you and dying.
That's peak right there.
I don't know if it's good for Sobero, but he is doing stuff that he wants to do. As all right, True Shot Barrage is going to soften up these Void Grubs. Carrier's going in. Pop Blossom's coming down as well, though the Fate's Call needs to be invested. My God, those Tangle Bobs were so good. As now Vikla is going to try and take down Gumayusi, but he gets bailed out of that one.
Yeah.
Ona down to 100 health, and Faker is looking to clean this one up. Kellen, not a whole lot he can do in this instance, and T1 win themselves the fight. Ona is playing super far up. Some aggressive play out of the man, as the crowd going to move back towards T1.
They're about to be a member up. I don't know about this for BNK.
A little bit dicey here as the Maiden comes down. Doran gets involved a little bit early, though, as now the Paranoia comes in. They look to just get rid of this Xin Zhao as quickly as possible, and Wind doesn't have time to become Lightning because he's dead. Kellen now doing his very best to survive, but he's going to get smoked down where he stands, and it's a double kill for Ona. Another one going over to Doran as he takes down Diablo. And it is going from bad to worse, as yes, Ragnarok doesn't get you out of the ghoulie wall, as it turns out. And so Sobero is
Just gonna die?
Possibly just dead. Yeah, the Morning Mist is going to be able to slow him down. And there is the kill onto the Olaf. And man, it was such a great start for BNK. Let's focus on that.
You don't get to trade, you don't have range, and they've had either Carrier or Owner just continuously hovering.
I would
him.
say that Faker is in trouble, but he's not. True Shot Barrage is going to snag him, but there's the paranoia. Vikla may be in trouble, but that is...
Turn?
Yeah, the turn is going to come on through here. As Ona taking a lot of damage, Pop Blossom holds him in place. He does get a kill. Before that even happens, though, as the bailout not quite able to work here as the Ghoulie Wall also. Not quite happening, and there's Sobero, ladies and gentlemen. It's the double, and now Diablo trying to get amongst it. Faker throws down the gravity field, says no to the rest of this fight, but BNK, they're back on the board.
When Annie ulted him and then they took the Ezreal as well. Will this change the outcome of the game if you're Nocturne?
I mean, yeah, it does make some sense, but, you know, Stride Break is a pretty powerful item if you can get in amongst it, as Vikla is now dead, ladies and gentlemen. Doran is going to just allow his Maiden to kill him. Look at this! It's an NPC battle in the bottom lane.
Nefarious.
A bit nefarious. You have definitely gotten a little bit more edgy, Chronicler, in your time here.
For my standards, yes. Really strong. I think T1's too late.
Yeah, Kellen standing in a pretty good position here as the handshake does come through, but that is just a dead Rift Herald as the teleport brought Sobero in. He's looking for a flank angle here. He gets into the brush. That does give T1 all the information here as the Ghoulie Wall goes down to make things annoying. Carrier continuing to find these handshakes.
Got a poke. They're playing for...
Oh, it's really smart from T1. They're just trying to create some space here as they go in onto Ona, and the Pop Blossom finds everyone. The bailout comes down yet again. They do kill the Nico, though, and so Ona stays alive for a long time into the backline. Goes the Olaf, but he's unable to get on top of Gumayusi. He uses those summoner spells so beautifully. And I was about to say T1 just had the positional advantage around that mid lane, and they utilize it so beautifully to just say no to BNK. They're going to look for even an inner turret off the back end of this as well. Oh man, I feel like they took so much from BNK just going for a desperation engage.
Killing Owner is nice, but that's not really what the goal of the composition is for BNK.
You can't take him off the Rift. He will still just go for the team fights. And he's finding it once again. Carrier up here alongside him. Let's see whether Doran and the Maiden can survive as the bailout does come in. The health bar is not going to quite be low enough, though, as Diablo gets close, to be perfectly honest. Owner on the cross map is going to be taking the second dragon for T1, as the Rift Herald does deal with this top outer turret. Still actually a bit of a help here for BNK. Outside of the fact that they lose the dragon, they may be able to get another charge.
I don't know about doing it themselves. They feel confident. Faker is back with full health. The zone control is decent.
It's a 6v6 now as well. Tibbers and the Maiden getting amongst it. And BNK, they're just not going to go for it. They don't have the confidence. And the Otacon just going to go over to T1.
Was a little worried when I saw that TP, but Carrier ensures, together with Owner, that operation... Make sure Doran doesn't get instantly blown up is a success.
Yeah. That being said, he is actually taking the Wolves instead. Diablo trying to do it one more time as Faker. If at first or second you don't succeed, try again. And unfortunately, don't try again, because it never really works here, ladies and gentlemen. Ona, though, is going low. Carrier bails himself out, but it's not quite going to work as it's a 1-for-1 trade. Vikla, unfortunately, just doesn't have the health bar to survive in these fights. And Doran is just taking the base.
It's still kind of a window. Oh, they're not going to go for... I thought they were going to actually go for Dragon. There's no TPs. I think they could have. Instead, they're looking for the collapse onto Doran, who is going to trade his life for an inhib, which I think you're not too sad about. If you can turn it into Dragon.
Well, let's see what he can actually find here as he's going to flash. There's a blast cone.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Blocks. They're 5 and 9.
And it's not even necessarily in style, but it is on their own terms. That is definitely a fact. That's all right. Dragon going to be secured. That is Soul Point going over to T1.
He did get his revenge.
He did. The revenge of the Merc Wolf. All right, Vikla, let's do it. Doran doesn't get stunned, though. And he just wanders out of range. He places Sobero in a circle, and now he's just looking to kill him. There he goes. Vikla now in not a bit of trouble. He's dead. Yeah, Doran is way too large. Now T1 should be able to take themselves a Baron because Doran just like 1v2 double kills.
He's going to end the game.
Yeah, all that.
He's going to... Raptor can steal.
Yeah, does it matter though is the question. The smite is not even required because the rend is what secures it. Down goes this Xin Zhao, and Kellen in this side lane will not be able to do anything to Olaf. Yeah, Diablo is going to get back to base, but I think a lot of him wishes he didn't. As, yeah, he's on the fountain, but the Maiden does not care about your fountain. And Doran doesn't care about your Nexus. He's going to kill that, and T1 going to win game 1.
This is also farming Senna. If you are unsure, that is definitely something that it has to be explained, because this combo was what ended the last Genji win streak. We're here towards Doran, but Owner is covering that bot lane right now. Those are some very aggressive plays being set up.
Yep,
Owner, he's out of the curve.
Yep, they're slamming each other into walls, and that is just the quickest of cooks here for Doran.
Are you like a reverse sear guy?
Yeah, I've recently got into
he's also getting reverse seared.
Yeah, this is the reverse sear as well, because this is Doran getting seared. He was greeting for a minion wave that he wasn't allowed to walk up to.
Doran, you have a job. It's to get POM, okay? I want to vote for you.
Hey,
like game number 1.
He's 100% kill contribution, 100% death contribution. Based assessment is our pledge, you know? To stay unbiased as Emperor's Divide going to come on through there, and oh my goodness! It's the combo, and it works out gloriously.
Oh, you mean Owner? Yeah, Owner does have to leave.
Yeah, sorry, it wasn't Vikla. Vikla didn't really mind about the whole situation.
No ult for Owner, so not really too worried. We're 2v2ing here with Jace.
Yeah, not sure about this one, as the exhaust does come on through. Gumayusi trying to stand his ground as Soboro flashes away. Gumayusi gets into the mist, flashes off, but he does get the heal. And still Gumayushi's going to be able to pick up the kill now, the Piercing Darkness, and look at the heals that come in the whole time from Gumayusi and Carrier. And Guma, get back here! What are you doing? You could have killed him! Instead, the red dots.
Top laner, which means he has TP. So this entire wave is going to get shoved into the turret. He's also going to get tempo on the next base as he's able to clear this wave very quickly. Damage goes down onto Carrier. That exhaust, right? Like Soboro, especially in melee form, hard to get through. But just that little bit of extra damage could have been the difference between Carrier living and dying. And then here, I think he could have walked it off.
Yeah, but honestly, like, it was the fact that Kellen got the heal and it felt so good, and now it feels absolutely horrible. As Raptor comes in, Gumayusi might be dead, as he's going to see what he can do, but the heroic charge going to be enough there. A supportal combat will complete the play. And out goes Vikla here as Doran says, no, not my lane. Sir, that is illegal.
So, I want to say that's still a trade up. I'm not sure. Depends on whether Soboro can catch the bot wave, but fight every single fight.
Oh yeah, but the fact that they're winning is the huge problem, because I don't think that they should. As Carrier's going to find the hook. There's the Dawning Shadow as the Impale comes through as well. Diablo will get taken out. They will be able to trade one back because the Keeper's Verdict works out very nicely. But still, Raptor's going to get delivered to this turret. And even though they don't have a massive amount of damage, they are still going to try to go for the kill, but they don't manage to take down Raptor.
1 for 1? The same build. I forgot who it was.
Oh, was there another one?
There was a third Senna.
Oh, golly. Was that earlier on? Well, we've got a bit of a fight breaking out here as Carrier taking a fair bit of damage. Over the wall goes the cullinged up
Doran!
That equalizer placement! Oh, Doran, POM time, baby! It's POM time for Doran as he picks up the double! And Soboro, he's there towards the top side. He's looking to grab a couple of plates before they dissipate. Got under a minute for that, but Doran's making his way back up there again. Have you got the sheet? You reckon it's time to ride it in?
Atlas is doing some serious campaigning here, everyone.
Yeah.
And Domestic Doran was, you know, we didn't really see him for the first, I want to say like 4 months, but he's back.
Oh yeah.
Domestic Doran is here to stay.
Well, there's International Doran's turning up.
Okay. Even for me, this is a bit much. Okay. This is
that was such that was the horrendous caster curse I've ever seen in my life.
I still don't. That was okay.
But it feels pretty worrying.
Oh, it's just gonna give it up. Okay. Well, you do have Poppy.
It's not Mountain Soul yet. Okay.
No. What are they? I guess they're waiting for 2 items on Diablo. I'm like looking for. Also, Sober is really far behind, so I guess that was a consideration. But I'm not feeling too happy about it.
My wife. Can't quite remember where. As Vikla looking for an angle, gets the flash this time. They find another heroic charge into the wall supplied by the Azir. They'll grab themselves a turret as well. BNK, some signs of life here as they move into a gold advantage.
I'm gonna lose the Otacon for this. It looks like
Hey,
OTP on
this
Vikla.
gold lead is extending though.
Yeah, that is true. I don't think that'll be enough as Kellen is watching it happen. Mid-lane turret might go down as well. They can go for this for sure.
Well, they don't. They've got another pack of
wave's
minions.
here.
Yeah. So Otacon is going to be traded for an inhibitor turret in the bottom lane.
So that's
and an inner turret and an outer turret and an outer turret in mid lane as well.
3 turrets? Wasn't Doran still Manifa?
Yeah. So it was the outer, inner, and inhibitor in bottom lane. More of an open map to work with now. Inhibitor turret down in the bottom lane just means that bottom side map control is going to be so much harder for T1.
This is gone. So T1, I also understand. Faker is approaching the breakpoint for the stacks, not quite there yet. Lane turret, BNK not going to fall for it, because Diablo is probably going to finish his second item. Be feeling good about that. There is the IE, so do like that setup.
Into a wall.
RFC done for Guma now as well.
All right, there's the flash impale. Empress Divide does absolutely nothing as Vikla is just going to get executed by this dragon. 234 stacks, and as it comes in, T1 says it's time to fight. The equalizer got Diablo out of that battle entirely as the minion wave is getting thinned out. Dawning Shadow comes through. That's going to keep Doran alive. And T1, they can just keep regenning these health bars over and over again. The power of this composition, if you cannot burst them down, is absurd. And now they're going to look for a Mountain Soul. It's game over, guys.
There's no shot you're winning as Mountain Soul.
Yep.
One of the big win conditions that are still left for BNK are poke from Azir and Jace. That's gone. And Diablo all-inning.
Yeah.
Also gone.
Yeah, big time gone.
So it's going to be Doran. I also think that in this game you can give it to multiple people, and in game 1 it was definitely Doran, so I'm going
Oh, that slam! That was real sexy there from Ona. He's getting my POM. I don't have one, but he's getting it if he wants it. That's going to be the lockdown of Sobero.
Owner hasn't gone on POM in like a series, Atlas.
I know!
So...
And he's the only one that can like realistically potentially catch up to Chovy.
Want to focus on the game, Atlas.
Yeah, that's what we're
game
do. Exactly.
Broadcast
T1
first.
BNK. Baron. That's what we're looking towards now. Rocks are being thrown around. Faker is flying around. Well, walking at the moment, but he could fly if he wants to.
Just doing some flapping.
Indeed. Yeah, this one does have a locket though. Sobero going to dive in on top of Doran here. Let's see who wins this 1v1. As Equalizer goes down and Sobero is just dead, ladies and gentlemen. Back on POM duty here is Doran. He's like, I gave you guys a shot, but now I'm just going to pick up solo kills in side lanes. Hide mine though. Right. Faker's going to get flashed on. That could be the opportunity here as they do get a nice double knock-up. But that's it. That's the initial salvo. They almost got through a Dragon Shield. Owner is actually taking real damage though. But here is the equalizer. My God, the value is disgusting as his Flame Spitter comes down as well. Now it's Gumayushi untouched. They manage to get the Impale off. Down goes the Skarner, but that is all they're going to get as Sobero. He's just looking to make his way out. It is a 1-for-4, and T1 will now march up this bottom lane. They can take themselves an Elder Drake if they'd like to. The Rift is their oyster.
T1 really playing it safe here, not wanting to run any risks.
Get this wave in order. And the Baron, I don't think, is going to be addressed whatsoever here by BNK. Everything is so dark, and it is most certainly full of terrors in that jungle. Faker flapping after Vikla here as a Hex Flash opportunity
that was
area, but doesn't find the angle.
By the way,
that was, oh God.
One achieve.
Yep.
That's a scary sneeze, Atlas.
1 minute and 20 seconds of how that Smolder meta felt as that inhibitor turret gonna go down, and BNK just watching their options slip away if there were any left to begin with. Mum goes down, and so do the Nexus turrets. There's a hook. Kellen Gonna be flashing away here as the equalizer has taken them to half health on its own. It's on, like they're almost about to die to just the equalizer and an Elder Dragon.
Turret still standing, trying to hold on. And T1, still 30 seconds, they can try and play as the hook.
Carrier, that was so weird, but I loved it. He manages to find a stun onto Diablo as well. The Impale connects onto 2. The bottom lane is melted in an instant as the Emperor's Divide does nothing. There goes the Nexus turret. That is the clean ace, and T1 will scale their way to a 33-minute victory here in Game 2.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.